can you manufacture these medical components? So for us, we decided at that point in time, how can we use our existing engineering capacity when the pandemic hit us?
It was a very ambitious project, and it led us on many paths for new innovation.
We targeted an industrial application and we turned it into a medical application. We created a design that was over 90% recyclable.
Nobody in North America have developed a reusable N95 respirator, which is a healthcare grade.
Of creating a domestic supply chain of manufacturers is extremely important to the overall domestic security of our medical supplies. Precision ADM was an idea that came from our precision labs. We were a testing company that would test medical devices. We were doing clinical research at the Orthopedic Innovation Center here in Winnipeg. And from there, we decided that it was really important for us to come up with a way to create cost-effective medical devices. But at the same time, we were looking at, well, what other types of sectors need metal 3D printing? Aerospace was one of them, so was oil and gas. So we ended up deciding that we really wanted to focus on medical devices and the aerospace sector. So we put together a consortium with local industry, and we created an advanced manufacturing hub for medical and aerospace. And we started Precision ADM in 2015. We were trying to manufacture medical devices with a partner in the US. That partner, after 2 years of working with them, was purchased. So we decided at that point in time it made a lot of sense for us to actually bring that technology to Winnipeg and start manufacturing. So when we were able to manufacture these 3D geometries for medical, out of titanium, out of cobalt chrome, out of stainless steel, we knew that those are similar materials that are used in aerospace. So for us, it was actually a natural pivot because we use the same materials between all these sectors. It wasn't just aerospace as we think of conventional aerospace, but we're also looking at space systems. So when it comes to satellites, small components for satellites, as well as defense systems. So looking at lightweight structures, very complex structures that are much lighter than their conventional methods of manufacturing those components. So we're a company that was able to take a titanium powder, and turn it into a hip cup like this, or a spine implant like this, or a turbine component. That conversion process is very systematic. It takes a lot of engineering, and it requires a quality system. There are not many manufacturers like Precision ADM in Canada because we are fully certified, so we are ISO 1345 medical certified, as well as AS 9100 certified. So we have both certifications in medical and aerospace with metal 3D printing.
In response to the COVID pandemic, it was more of an opportunity that was suggested to Precision ADM that in lieu of being a contract manufacturer, we come up with our own design, and that was a suggestion brought to us out of need from the province because they knew that we had competency in 3D printing.
We were asked, do you have any suppliers? Can you manufacture these medical components? So for us, we decided at that point in time, we could take on the regulatory work, we could take on all of the 3D printing, and look at how can we use our existing engineering capacity when the pandemic hit us. How could we use that capacity, how can we use that talent and put it towards our own products? And that's where we actually decided to pivot to become an OEM at that point in time.
And during the COVID-19, the biggest problem Canada was facing, a huge shortage of testing materials like swabs. And we overnight designed and commercialized Canada's first 3D printed swabs, which led us to inventing multiple product line into the PPE business.
When the pandemic first started, the federal government and a handful of funding agencies offered a series of funded projects. So there was funding available, but for CanSwab, we didn't end up applying for funding because we had the opportunity, we had the competency in-house to conduct the design, carry through clinical trials, and just build on our ISO 13485 certification, which helped us get certified with Health Canada, and we were able to move forward with commercializing the product.
We saw that there was a natural pivot for us to go from 3D printing medical devices such as spine implants and hip replacements, that it made sense for us to potentially get into polymer printing of medical devices such as swabs. And so it was a natural pivot for us to basically go from one type of 3D printing to another type of 3D printing and pivot into something that actually really grew for us as a company.
It was a great opportunity. We were able to respond in a quick period of time and ended up having a very successful supply of 3D printed nasopharyngeal swabs, both for the province and for the federal government.
We developed Canada's first CSA approved respirator. So it's a reusable respirator that's environmentally friendly, that nurses and doctors can use on the front line.
The Precision Air N95 mask was a unique design that started and was born right inside of Precision ADM. So when we started down that pathway, the contract was signed with the idea that Precision ADM would carry out all of the novel design work. The team had to identify what materials were biocompatible. They came up with a design that would be a good face seal. They did a ton of research on what size of face the mask had to fit, filtration media, and then on top of that, we created a design that was over 90% recyclable.
Precision Air's N95 mask was a very ambitious project because it's never been done in Canada before. Actually, nobody in North America have developed a reusable N95 respirator, which is a healthcare grade. Everything in the marketplace is pretty much commercial grade product.
We went through age testing and made sure that the materials would last through high temperature disinfection cycles. So we targeted an industrial application and we turned it into a medical application.
There are tremendous benefits of reusable mask. Specifically when it comes to reusing the filters. So disposable mask in any given day at hospital setup, a nurse will change the mask between 4 to 6 times in a single day. In Precision Air, you actually change 1 time filters in a whole shift. So each mask is equal to 4 to 6 masks in a single day perspective. And you are able to reuse the Precision Air up to 60 times. 360 masks equal to 1 mask. Compared to any other disposable product, have a huge environmental impact because now you're not throwing polypropylene out into the landfill. And thirdly, we are able to recycle this product back into a new PPE like gowns and medical wraps and other products. So it is a win-win situation for everyone.
What I've heard through my own circle of healthcare workers that there is an added level of comfort for them. I have also heard anecdotally that the level of communication offered by this product, because of having a dual filtration system, there's an acoustic benefit which doesn't muffle conversation. Getting that feedback from an actual end user that they appreciated some of the features that the engineering team threw in just to improve the product, and hearing back that that was something that made a difference in a surgery, that's super rewarding to hear.
A huge thanks goes to healthcare providers here in Manitoba and also in Ontario, who really came into the forefront and provided us the feedback to our engineering team. And our engineering team really very quickly took that feedback and converted into the product. And we have a Precision Air.
The team was so motivated by the fact that they were helping frontline workers that there was just a natural incentive for the engineering team to work hard. We had the quality team working overtime, trying to figure out and navigate what requirements we needed to achieve for Health Canada approval. We created a network of people inside the provincial government so that we could respond to healthcare workers, design modifications. We had set up weekly meetings, and everyone was just really committed to making the project successful.
So it was definitely a very ambitious project, and it led us on many paths for new innovation, from the materials to design to tooling to overall processes.
There is no greater reward than knowing that what you do in a day and that your regular job is helping frontline workers perform their job better.
2020, when COVID-19 hit, we found ourselves in a situation where our elective surgery market was quite down and our aerospace market was shutting down on us. We did a very fast and agile pivot from going from a low volume manufacturing to high volume, low cost manufacturing.
One of the reasons that Precision ADM was able to pivot so quickly is because we actually started out as a very small company. Everyone who worked here was agile, adaptive. They were used to working extra hours to get the job done, and they were used to working outside of their normal job function to get the job done.
Our company has seen a lot of growth over the last 12 months. We were about 23 people last February, March, and we're over 200 people right now. So there's been significant growth, and we see that there's a lot of opportunities.
We hit the ground running in the face of the pandemic, and we're able to build on the core competencies. We added key people to supplement the staff that was already working here so that we could be successful and hit all of the targets that we needed to hit in order to achieve what we wanted to.
Which led us to inventing multiple product line into the PPE business. And now we are one of Canada's largest PPE manufacturer.
Domestic manufacturing of PPE was significant during the pandemic. To be able to create our own devices versus shipping them over across the ocean, it was very important for us to have that domestic security around manufacturing locally made PPE. So that pivot, that strategy of creating a domestic supply chain of manufacturers is extremely important to the overall domestic security of our medical supplies. We are converting materials into complex geometries, and it's very, very consistent throughout our process. It doesn't matter if we're making a mask or if we're making an aerospace component. So we're seeing ourselves going to be focusing on vertical integration of our system so that we can become a very secure supplier for Canadians for many years to come.